Ben did face a blank screen this morning. It started around 11 o'clock here in the UK. Well, I say blank screen. Some people had error 503, service unavailable, or connection failure. Mark Rodbert is visiting professor in computer science. Computer science is a different science altogether, but computer science, which is also important, at the University of York, and founder of the cybersecurity firm Idax Software. Now, what happened, Mark, to you this morning when it all went off?
So I found out, like a lot of people, I was going on the internet and I had a look at the various websites as I normally do, and I got the same error as everybody else.
Did you press Control-Alt-Delete? Did you restart your Wi-Fi?
No, maybe I'm a little bit more experienced than some people. I was also getting quite a lot of phone calls from our clients, so alerting me that there was something a bit more interesting happening, and obviously people feared the worst.
What is the worst?
Well, clearly people were thinking that this had been a mass cyber attack to lots of key infrastructure on the internet. So it wasn't just, the Financial Times, Guardian, BBC that were down. There was PayPal was unavailable to some people, Shopify. So there was some kind of fundamental services. Thankfully, a real cyber attack would have been a lot more serious than this and would probably have had more impact and lasted longer.
So what was this, and how long did it take for things to come back on?
So this revolves around a company called Fastly, which is a global content delivery network, a CDN. And you can think of that as really the plumbing that underlines the internet. So it's the way in which large companies that own websites find a way of talking to everybody equally across the world. And what seemed to be happening is that there was a service configuration issue. So that's the way that normally goes along with an update. So somebody's trying to improve some of their services, and clearly there was an error that impacted a lot of their clients. I think that the thing that surprised us in the Idax office was that a single company, Fastly, was responsible for so much of what we know as the internet. We certainly weren't aware of that. And I think the question, if I was on the board of some of these companies, the question I'd be asking my IT team tomorrow is, how come we're so incredibly reliant on a single provider? And we know that they have things in place to try and protect us, but clearly, one has to question whether that's sufficient when a single configuration can take everybody out for over an hour.
How do these things work at these big companies? If they normally get their service from company A, do they have a backup plan so that if, as what happens today happened, can they flip to company B?
One would hope so. Clearly, that in highly regulated industries like financial services, that would be the case, and the regulators are responsible for making sure that you have what's called a business continuity plan for this. Typically, though, those would kick in about an hour or so. So you wouldn't necessarily have a completely immediate standby. You would expect some of these companies to have what's called a hot standby. So they would have two computers running simultaneously, and you can switch from one to the other. But clearly, if that's going through the same company, then you have a question about a single point of failure, and that's what I would be questioning.
Thanks so much, Mark. Greatly appreciate it. Mark Rodbert, visiting professor in computer science at the University of York and founder of the cyber security firm Idax Software.